the Fantasy Podcast. News, reviews, and interviews from the world of myth and legend.
To the head and all those sort of things you learn like a dance.
But you were actually fighting someone who was there, weren't you?
Well, I was fighting John. Did have a fight when John was there. The other stuff, the great fights at the end, of course, were when we did it in blue backing.
Right.
When of course there wasn't anyone there at all. It was well, that was because when they did me, I was in blue. Part of me was in blue, and as I began to disappear, they just kept stopping and putting more blue on me until, in the end, it was just a sword that was in the air. It was terrific fun to do.
And I think they called it shadow boxing.
Yeah, that's right.
Technique where you just had to rehearse. And I read that one of the stunt coordinators tied two actors' work together to simulate the sixth armed creature.
Oh yes, I didn't know about that because that was very, very involved, because I do remember on that morning, we shot on a Saturday morning, they allocated an entire morning.
That's not what I was supposed to do them. And then they wanted more, and they wanted more.
Did you enjoy doing them?
I loved writing them. I used to enjoy creating, leading innocent readers down seemingly great paths of promising treasure, only for them to fall to their ultimate doom on poison spikes, or
getting a nice man as well,
or fried to toast by some hideous creature. I used to love that. It used to make me giggle, thinking they're definitely going to go down here, and they're not going to like it. I used to like that bit. And constructing the puzzle elements and making sure that they were taxing, not overly taxing, and if people cheated, I said that's fine by me. Yeah. And we used to see them, on public transport everywhere, with the 5-fingered bookmark, their hands, readers holding their fingers in multiple pages, so they could always go back. So I did like that.
And let us always act in righteousness. That those who stand against your divine plan will be crushed by the combined spirit of your children. In blood I have served. In death I will be judged. In serving others, I serve my Lord. In serving my Lord, I earn salvation.
Hello, I'm here with the man you would have heard a few seconds ago doing an incredible off-the-cuff speech. I don't know, was it? Have you done that before?
That's sort of... I've done it before, but never quite to in front of that many people to that extent, sort of thing. And it was fairly off the cuff. It always is with LARP, because it's all...
It's brilliant, though. And what's your character?
My character is named Sir Isaac Neville. He is the leader of an order of knights, which is now dwindling, especially after that battle. He's got a sort of reluctant leader.
Until we realised, hang on, it doesn't matter which door they go through. They don't know. It doesn't go to anywhere else. Apparently, they did exactly the same thing with the TV show just over the course of a year. Yeah. So is this, by the second series, if you watch Nightmare Again, they've given up on having different routes. They've just gone, well, pick a door. Ooh, which door could it be? They all go to the same place because it's less writing. It's less for, especially back then, for Hugo to have to learn an entire dungeon, most of which he wasn't going to use. Yeah. Just too much to go in. So it's just easier to go, we'll do it this way, and let the game become organic. And it becomes a slightly different animal. It's more like a ride dressed up as a game. Yeah. So it still has that element of like, oh, it could be anything, but.
And of course, you can create a little arc through the day of the actual story. So
we tack on a storyline for the stage show, because obviously it's got to have two ones.
7th of April, I believe, and it was purely an art project that I did whilst I was working in forensics, because I worked for a private forensics company, so I was working in audio and video forensics, mainly counter-terrorism and things like that. So as you can imagine, the things you see on a day-to-day basis aren't particularly pleasant. So being an old art student, I started dabbling in art again. And for some unknown reason, it's one of those things when people ask you, where do you get the ideas from for what you do? I just don't know where they come from. For some reason, I made this mummified fairy. I think it's because I'd seen Fiji mermaids.
Yeah.
But I wanted to create something different. So I literally stole a toilet roll from work, took it home, got some poster paint, made some paper mache, covered this small anatomical skeleton in paper mache, which I got for
and he's still going strong. And like I said, with the Marvel Platinum books, for a long time he was writing the introductions for me. Until a couple of years ago, he actually turned around and said to me, "Brady, I'm really sorry, but I'm working harder now than I've ever done in my life before, and I just don't have the time to do it." And I thought, well, considering he does the cameos and he's got a TV show in the States as well, and he's making loads of personal appearances and everything, and he's in his 90s. Yes. I was like, okay, Stan, don't worry, it's fine. And he actually said, "You know what? You do such a great job writing a Stan Lee. You should do it." So I did. So yeah.
Wow.
So now I write the intro.
The Fantasy Podcast. News, reviews, and interviews from the world of myth and legend.